but I still feel the nerve.
And Mark can't join us, he's at a conference, but he does a little. So, I will call this meeting to order at 4:00. And has everyone had a chance to look at the, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over citizens petitions, comments and concerns.
Well, the reason I invited Karen here is that we focused, because of the Tri-Town Trail being in a position of being Groton, Ledger, and Preston, we crossed 3 different towns. We're trying to spread the wealth of the value of this group, and so Karen's here to take a look at how we operate to be able to get this started up measured.
Yeah.
Get a Trails Coordinating Task Force.
Talked it around and there's positive feedback. It's just a matter of organizing organizing meeting. So enough people are interested, so.
Well, we're pretty casual groups.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And she's also here to get information for you relative to how the luminary works and all this kind of stuff.
Maybe we can talk about that
Yeah,
now.
right, later or whatever, but that's what I just, from a citizen's perspective, that's why she's here.
Yeah.
I'm really the normal representative. So I brought
He's a
my.
little proud.
Did you want to ask your question from?
Well, for the luminary, I just need to just some general information. I have tentative approval from Scott Johnson, who's head of our Parks and Rec. Because it's an organized event, I'm gonna have to run it through Parks and Rec, otherwise I have to have an OIC or CI or whatever, certificate of insurance, which we don't have, so. So it's a program of the Parks and Rec, and then we can have an organized event, so.
Where are you going to have, where in Ledger are you going to have it?
It'll be at the trailhead, and then we do a luminary around our dog walk, spur, and then also straight down to the Joe Clark Bridge, not across the bridge, because then that becomes, part of the easements, and I don't wanna.
Yeah.
Just keep it on the town property.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Great. So, I mean, our luminary is October 17th,
Okay,
and we have a committee. That's led by Cindy Olson, who's actually the programmer with Thrive here in this building. And she started the committee, and we meet, I think, every couple of months throughout the year to be planned.
oh, okay,
Highly planned, but it's not a huge lift, really.
yeah,
It's-
no,
It's like $10 a person, and we talked about having music. We had music last year, they couldn't come this year. Talked about having the witches.
Yeah.
The witches group. Do some that. We're kind of doing like a crossover Halloween.
yeah, we're kind of the, I saw like this part right across the street is, Preston Park, and if I coordinate with Preston Park and Recs, and we thought about having some ghost stories over at the pavilion.
Yeah, that's nice.
Something,
It's just little stuff like
Just-
that, and things
Right,
that
yeah.
glow in the dark, and like Parks crew made some woodland creatures out of wood.
Yeah.
Put those around.
Yeah.
Well, that can.
Yeah.
Happy to talk to you about.
how many attendees did you have?
I think last year they got a little over 100.
Okay,
It's always an issue with the weather.
right. You have a rain date or you just cancel?
We do not have a rain day. We just can't. Okay. So that's there you go. On to minutes.
We accept the
Ready?
second.
Mine's so tough.
Okay. Okay, correspondence and communications from anyone? They left the share. Moving on. I'm alone. Okay.
So, as far as the crosstown, greenway goes, we, have approval, our committee approval for putting the greenway onto our, piece of property that's at, Moore Woodlands. So committee saw the map, we kind of had seen it before, but just finalized that, whatever we end up, I think, Tom, that or Tab, that you had sent me the markup of what the blaze was gonna look like.
Yes.
And that was all fine. And then also, we're going to change a little bit the trail system. So it had been all the blue trail.
Everywhere.
And on the website, on the Avalon website, it's all a red trail. So now it's gonna be the blue, but we're also going to have the red trail that goes from 215 up to the main entrance. And then that also probably also have orange when the time present. Anyway, so that has all been approved, and now it's just a matter of it going into the bureaucratic swamp to have an actual trail map done. And I was wondering with that, if at some point, do you have any idea when you're gonna blaze, or if you're gonna blaze, or what?
As far as any blazing, I haven't gotten involved in that, okay? I know that Mark Berry he had, as part of the Complete Streets Committee, had all the branding and the kiosk and all that kind of stuff, and he's been kind of coordinating. I don't think you've gotten too involved with that.
We submitted a grant.
Yeah, grant.
And we're waiting to hear back.
Okay.
There's a grant request. That's really what's driving everything. That grant request, getting money in
Yeah.
place, or they could go for everything.
But it's still orange.
Well, for right now, we had discussed this about a year or so ago,
Yeah.
yes, and stuff, so we had.
Well-
I would not get ahead of Mark on it.
So we'll just keep delaying our map till we have, no, because we don't want to have the map created, because.
Well, this is
And then-
kind of goes back, I have to go back and
And
take a
then,
look at what
change it.
was on that the FHI folks did.
Yeah.
As far as how did they put everything together, color coordinated wise, I don't know. Yeah,
I just feel like a greenways
They put-
trail marker.
I know they put some logoing together and.
But like a year ago, we were specifically for both GOSA and
Yeah.
Avalonia asked to go back to our respective boards to see if they would be okay with orange
Yeah,
blazers.
Right, we all talked about,
And then
Yeah.
they may change to something else.
And that's what we're using on the Tri-Town Trail is pretty much all orange. The primary trail is orange blazes, which should be consistent with what we come up with in Groton when we get here.
Yeah.
Now, right now, we haven't blazed anything on the state property of Bluff because they won't allow us
Yeah.
to. And the boardwalk doesn't really need blazing per se. It's
You're on it, you're on
yeah,
it.
because we also, yeah, so we haven't blazed anything from our perspective here, from the Tri-Town Trail perspective. I know the discussion was, we had it at a meeting a long time ago, said we going to an orange type of blazing just to kind of be consistent between the crosstown and Greenway stuff blazing.
So. Okay,
So
well,
as long as I would definitely double check with what the FHI think.
And I can send it,
Yeah,
I
I don't,
don't think there's any blaze color like that, it's just a marker of this is the crosstown trail.
great, so we
And
can
then
go
it's
ahead with
either
the map
yes
then,
or
just the
white.
red and the blue, and not worry about the orange.
Well, understand that that way, the orange will not be on the maps.
Right,
There will be
So
no
if it's-
designation.
right, so
of
if it's
the
that way, so
of the
I don't
green.
have to worry, I can just do blue and just send it in blue and red now.
Okay.
The orange.
So I'll check on the maps and see what's orange is that. Hopefully there's any color designated, but
Okay.
I can check on it.
yeah, that's guys, I just don't remember the thing that's right here.
No, that's okay,
Prepared for
but
that question.
we just want to get the map done. So
Yeah.
even if it's just putting a note that says there's the crosstown trail.
Well, the question to you is, because you would also discuss new, metal signs or whatever, get more woodland that match the color scheme. So those
Yes.
would not show crosstown Greenway, question mark?
Well, that's the,
I think you have to take a look at it. So FHI actually had kiosks, and I think one of them was that more woodland
Yeah.
area.
I don't remember.
there wasn't at both ends, there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we have all the locations.
Okay,
Yes.
and that might be
All we
sufficient
need.
for all we need
Yeah.
for, yeah.
Yeah.
Good, never
Okay.
mind.
Yeah, let's go. Actually, go back. So let's start.
All right, thanks.
I don't have that in front of me.
Okay, so I have that follow-up.
Okay.
That's about it. Trains.
Try to count.
As far as, we're still, as far as, in Groton area, we're still waiting for the change of administration on the city side, the Groton utilities. And, we're optimistic there's gonna be potential change there for next year, so we're just kind of waiting that out. Meantime, we're developing the trail, working with the town to get our recreational trails grant back in place so that we can go talk to the next set of families, to extend the trail from where it is right now on the northern end, and to get down to Stowers Wharf Road to 215 in Fletcher. Also, I've been working with the state Connecticut Trails Learning Group. They do the monthly meetings with the next Wednesday is the next one of that. At 2 o'clock, they have an online forum that goes in, and then on October 3rd, they're gonna have this Connecticut Trails Symposium, which is a meeting for all the trails in the state. That's up at Mansfield. I'm actually gonna be one of the presenters there in some of our bridge building efforts. So, yeah, then obviously we already talked about the efforts for Karen's leading up to the Ledyard area with the transporting task force for Ledyard and the area for the.
You want to say anything about our efforts with Preston? Just for their
Well,
information?
I don't know how much they're gonna get out.
Yeah.
We're also working with the Connecticut Forest and Parks Association on the Blue Blaze Trail System on the Pequot Trail up at Preston, because we do, at the Preston Community Park there, the trail there, the Blue Blaze goes also through there. And so we are working to try to expand their stewardship process up in Preston. Is fallen apart to some degree post-COVID here, and with the trail closure due to the upgrading of the Eversource power lines, and also with some storm damage that they had there. So we can find a work with them to get that trail set up and establish a more formalized partnership. And so we actually have 3 vice presidents, one for Groton, which I am, then we have a Ledger guy and a Preston person. She's been working with the Connecticut Forest Parks to get that expansion in place there to hopefully to get better utilization of a common volunteer base, and keep our people at least busy as far as, doing the sister trail that we actually have a big sign up at Preston that says, go here for the Tri-Town Trail, go to the Connecticut. We have the Forest Park logo there, Pequot Trail over this way, because we do join at the Preston Park. So just trying to keep our people busy. That's all I got.
Good news. Crosstown and Greenway, did you want to talk any more about that, or I mean, we just talked about that.
Yeah.
And then the grant.
The grant.
So that's pretty much where we are with that. Haven't heard back. Yeah, they did get all our material.
Is it state
Proposal.
funding or is it?
Let's see. State. Groton open space.
Yeah, so just letting you know, our annual meeting is October 16th, right at the senior center here. Doors open at 6, there's light refreshments. Our business meeting is at 6:30, and then at 7 is our speaker, which this year is the unveiling, the presentation premiere of a series of videos that have been put together about the history of GOSA, Groton, open space in the area, and some of the early battles with Bluff Point, Halley Farm, things like that. The videographer will be there presenting. So you're welcome to come. So October 16th. Doors open at 6, business meeting 6:30, video, etc. And then just that we had a really fun, successful summer of hikes with Groton Parks and Rec. 5 hikes, very heavily attended.
Those have funded the process. In past years, it's been $6 a kid. And, 12 would show up, 50 signed up for the first bus this year.
Wow.
Oh, so see what
That's
free
great.
busing does to get kids outdoors.
And when it was $6, it was
And
like,
it was very, 10 to 12 kids.
really?
Was that with the Go Groton program?
Not necessarily, no, this was different.
This is the summer parks and rec.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there were summer parks and recs. The school year hikes have a component with Groton. And then because this is in our appeals letter, so going quite public very, very soon. It's really firming up to look like an early survey or the survey at acquisition for Candlewood Ridge is 25 acres. And so we're working on getting that straightened out. So there may be,
That's,
and that is in our appeals letter, so it's going out to the public. Okay, to mention. But, so it's, it'll pull together some open space. It's under, it's protected now, it'll remain. And
How is that?
Well, I can give you more of this, little history here. NOAA at the GIS has always known that the area that's in question here has been incorrect because things haven't lined up. When he put this, how the GIS really got there is that when it was initially loaded, they ended up having to fix things just by putting, yeah,
Like
it's
assigning
not going to the original
ownership,
survey.
yeah.
The original survey didn't exist for the parcel that Groton Open Space purchased from the Haley family, from which has been in ownership since the 1700s.
16.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so nobody really knew because they didn't have a definitive initial, and so everybody else had been surveying things from there, and so now now the process finishing it up here, we kind of got stuck with we have to have a definitive survey to meet up with requirements for the state grant for the Oswald grant.
So this was an inadvertent serendipitous. The surveyor just spent days in the bowels of some building in Hartford.
Yeah.
Going through the deeds from the 1700s. And it was like, this just doesn't line up.
Wow.
Yeah, so
It's a good
it's,
survey.
so there's, but we've been paying, it's a good price here, that Coast has been paying for, okay, so that's the part of the issue. But some people are gonna be losing land that they thought they had and reorganizing,
And a parcel that's been on the GIS for quite a while doesn't exist.
yeah. So we have a whole lot of the 7-acre block that we bought that we really didn't own. We actually did own it, but it was through another purchase.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
yeah.
so-
So did you have to purchase something?
And we already purchased 89 acres back 2 years ago now, but we've still been sorting this out as far as we still have received the funding from the state. We fronted the money ourselves.
This is
Yeah,
the
so-
Center Groton.
For Center Groton for sure.
And then Candlewood Ridge we acquired in 2013. And so this is 10 years later, bought and sealed and deep money all
And surveyed,
and surveyed. Needs a new one.
and we were finding that the surveyor
So
did
that
not
survey
do
wasn't-
sufficient due diligence to go back far enough. Basically went with the survey that was done by the prior owner. who
Which
thought
was
this
not an
gonna-
A2.
Yeah, was not a survey relative to what we have to provide to the state, but it was good enough to register with the town. This is one of these issues where you get what you pay for.
Or someone asked you.
Yeah, right. So we're doing Gus is doing the necessary due diligence at this point, going back. Paying.
I mean,
But bottom line,
on
you're-
on a smaller scale, Avalon went through this with you and me. We were ascribed a piece of property we didn't own, and then we owned a driveway that we didn't want. There was a mess down
Can you
in
do
the
repairs
southeast
on it? It's like,
the surveyor dug to fix somebody's imagination. So that's a direct move.
A lot of these issues.
A lot of these exist like that.
Oh,
Amanda,
so rarely, sir.
Amanda Arline, where she used to live, like 5 people owned the same little piece of something, you know. All the deeds overlap.
So that's what you're really paying for when they're going, how far back these guys go.
So, if nothing else, lesson learned, get a good surveyor.
Yeah.
Quick question on bus. How much did you guys spend on buses this, for the programs? I'm just curious about how much it costs.
Several thousand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was it easier because school was out?
Well,
Session?
Oh, so for Parks and Rec? Okay, so Parks and Rec, yeah, all right, so I would have to go, I believe Parks and Rec was. I would have to go to Mike, I didn't bring my kid, it's under 200 per bus,
Okay.
one bus,
Because
5
you went
trips.
through. or something.
I do not, I
Okay.
did not organize this,
Just curious.
yeah, but, so GOSA paid for that.
Mm-hmm.
The school heights, we got a grant, from the Kitchings Family Foundation, part of which covered the buses for the school year.
I know that's a big.
It is a big issue because these field trips for the school, so every single K through 3 grade came at least once. And that was 2 buses per trip. So it was pushing, it was over $4,000. But on the other hand, the kids just were, you know, to hear a kid, I've never been in the woods, and the accompanying parent. You know, and, yeah, and they're coming, and they're visiting and coming back. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hot property. So I'll talk a little bit about this. So the Alapa Trail. Talked about this evening yet, but there's a woman, Mary Lapa, who kind of inspired the entire visually impaired trail. So we're calling it the Alapa Trail, so that's what we're going with. And we're developing kind of a logo with owl eyes for the visually impaired trail part. We have consulted with the Southeastern Council for the Blind, they're visually impaired. They're wonderful people, and they have told us a lot of things about what visually impaired people need and their caregivers need. And what we're doing is, and we can also with Kent Frost, which is the landscape designers, and they know a lot about these things because they've worked with them. Some
Was that?
Oh, yeah,
Again,
on a braille trail. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was very
That's,
inspiring.
that's not a problem. Yeah.
That's like the whole
Yeah,
glory.
it's-
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're going to do like a tester trail. So if you go on the top and we go on the left, not towards the dog park the other way, there's a little loop that goes up to the field. And there's like a big boulder up there. And then this comes out, it's maybe a quarter mile to do it as a loop. So that's our short loop. We have a medium loop, and we have a long loop as well. But we're gonna start the short loop. We're gonna get some benches that are of color, and we're determining what color makes most sense. For a visually impaired trail, we're doing posts with colored logos that are really easy to see. We have sound stations where you can hear about certain geological features or vegetation. So that's something that we meet on pretty frequently, and we'll be doing kind of as a parks project, like my crews are gonna be putting this up there. So it's pretty neat
That's
stuff. I'm excited about
Any
it.
tactile stuff?
And some tactile stuff, yes. So we have a tactile map of getting hopes on. Like a fully tactile map. And then to get to the tactile map, we're doing like a very similar to cable and boot, like a boot, or a rock, a boot block kind of thing, but not for the entire trail, because we're gonna have the soundscape software that people can listen to hear the beeps and go with that. And there's a voice that tells you.
Have you been looking at ADA parking?
There
So
is
just
ADA
to-
parking.
oh, there is.
There was already established, that was put in there many years ago.
Beautiful, okay.
So that's all set, and then the new trail they put in recently, will help with the longer loop as far as. It's not gonna be fully ADA.
Yeah.
At all, because it can't be, right, but trying to make it as, yes. Perfect,
That's great.
Tabitha, when that's completed, it would be great to have like a site visit one day. And I think also just like even, maybe inviting like Kim Bradley or like the folks that do the Connecticut Trail Symposium, or even like I sit on the Friends of State Parks, their meetings, I'm gonna board members. A friends group board eventually, but, yeah, anyway, I'm just thinking like, there's probably a lot of people that would really like to see that.
Yeah.
And just like think about those ideas for their parks and trails.
Well,
Friends
that's
go, Brad.
awesome.
Yeah.
Still like.
Okay, you guys can
Hey,
yourselves too.
It's all good, right? You all want to share your.
Well, to throw
So
out,
good.
as one doing it, maybe work with Avalonia, because then there could be, also a showing of rail trail and some of the other things that,
What's in the area?
and also the different ways to approach the parking,
Yeah.
because Avalonia had really researched, how to do parking on the cheap that really is accessible and also affordable. And people would probably like to see more than one thing.
Yeah,
As long as they're making a trip out.
Yeah.
Maybe next year, the Connecticut Trail Symposium can be held in Groton.
I think it's in.
What do you think about that?
I'm not sure, because
I gotta try to get.
That's
Yeah.
that does that.
Good idea.
So we've done a lot with volunteers.
I just was saying that the Connecticut Trail Symposium maybe next year can be held in Groton. Just throw that out there. I'm gonna do that, but. Where's it this year?
It's up in Mansfield, at, whatever the community college.
Con College,
Oh,
then
funny, or Yukon Avery Point.
Mhm.
How many people go?
I don't know, I've never been to it, but I'm going this year and I'm going to present.
It's
it,
gotten
so-
huge.
Yeah.
It was,
It wasn't huge. It was only like 4 vendors. Maybe that was.
no, that was not it.
Yeah.
No, the vendors filled an entire, well, the vendors and others filled an entire huge space. There's so many people that they had split up where you got your lunch by alphabet, so
Oh my
Dan
gosh.
Spahn and Betsy Chittenden could.
No, you think it's CLCC, this is,
Oh, all right,
There's-
there you go. Yeah, I got it wrong. Sorry,
yeah, CLCC is big.
there's never
What's
mind.
CLC Connecticut.
Like,
Conservation.
Conservation Council, yes, yeah, you had, yeah,
that's up in Middletown
never
in
mind.
March. This is, I know the last couple have been up. Way up in the Torrington area, and last year was here, they're repeating it in Mansfield.
Is it the Friends? Is it the Park and Trail? What?
No, Connecticut Forest Parks. that's-
Yeah,
that's-
yeah,
that's-
yeah, but they don't organize it?
No, this is all done out of Kim Bradley's office.
Oh,
yeah.
That's the DP.
It wasn't that.
I would love to come down here. She don't tell me anything.
I let her ride in Kimberly.
She'll bring her bike and
Yeah.
sneak out afterwards.
Anyway, moving on. Town trails. So just to give you a little update, Maple Glen is in survey. And we have survey markers that are being installed around. So it's on my task list to take a look at survey and see if there may be ways, signage and stuff like that. So it's,
And you don't recognize it, we did develop a stewardship plan for that also, that's already posted.
Who's that?
Can I just ask you, maybe Glenn, so where is that? I'm not familiar. Is that something new that you're doing?
yeah, it's not new. It's in like the northwest.
It's off the Gunji one.
Oh.
Right by
Yeah.
the entrance is where you get that, native credit unions, and then you got the big, recreation like center there, it's across the street from that.
Oh,
It goes up,
I think in efforts to make that district more accessible.
oh, I know. I've heard about that extreme. Okay.
Other town trails notes, we're in a season right now where I have workers who actually have some time on their hands, so I've been sending them into the woods. So has been some fresh blazing been done, they've been doing some clearing, so hopefully it looks better out there. just sparkling. And I have some signs I want to get off. Next meeting. And now it's your turn.
Thanks.
Sorry to put you late.
No, I'm happy because I was thinking, yeah, no, so, the only thing I'll mention is, I think last time I was talking about, we were trying to get together a management plan for Bluff Point. We did get a small grant, it was like $7,000, and we hired a consultant to bring Connecticut Deep folks together to talk about what they would want in a management. So, it was in July, 22 deep people showed up. We had forestry, it was kind of amazing, we gave them lunch, and they stayed for like, it was like 9 to 4. They stayed the whole day, but it was fisheries, wildlife, boating, parks, obviously, forestry, education, or like recreation. So it's good. It's hard though, right? Because like, they were just trying to put together a list of what will go in the management plan, and there's so much stuff just getting on the same page about so many things. So, there were quite a few things that kind of bubbled up to the surface as like things they can work on sooner than later. For example, an emergency plan for Bluff Point, because if there's a fire, no one's getting out of like, yeah, and I think Bluff would probably go in place pretty quick because there's a lot of understory. So the forestry folks are very, very concerned about that. So anyway, we sent out the notes. I will just say like a side note, like, so we are not land managers, we're like stewards, and Bluff is part of the Connecticut Reserve, but it's really kind of been hard for us because we've been facilitating the process, but we're not writing the management plan. Like, we cannot do that. So, we're trying to get them to kind of take on, but, kind of crickets, unless we say, okay, now we're gonna do the next step, let's go and do this, and then everybody participates, but no one will just like take the lead. So, but we're working on it, we'll see. Not surprising, no one.
Plan for it.
Yes, yes. So, you know, as you all know, Bluff is like, also is a state park, coastal reserve, natural area preserve, and that natural area preserve also doesn't have a plan right now. And, I think it has like a draft plan. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but, yeah.
To be honest with you, the state's really lacking a lot of areas. Kenwood Hill, there's no plan.
Yes.
Gungy one, they don't have any idea what they're doing with that one. What do you do? They're gonna categorize it.
Yeah.
It's been that way for years.
Yeah.
It's deep, this is really floundering.
Well, and, I don't know if you guys know Kavia Hicks. She was the one that they hired to do the SCORP, the statewide
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever, outdoor recreation plan or something. Anyway, and she's like contract, and gosh, I just wish they would just keep her on and like have her start all these management plans. She's really, she's good, but, I don't know. Hard.
Why is Rhode Island able to manage this and Connecticut cannot? Because I mean, managing the big plots of all of the wildlife management areas. That they seem to be able to share equitably, and, you know, Big River has a big river. That side you hunt, that side you bite, you know, not too hard. And seems to be able to work with user groups to have joint, you know, work parties, to allow trail building. And also to manage and de-trail places when they don't want.
I think part of the issue for that is you have such a relatively much smaller issues, and you don't have the central, you know, the decentralization you have. You got the Fairfield people, you've got the Hartford people, you've got.
Oh, they,
like out here.
mountain biker, you've got the Rhode Island.
Yeah, so Rhode Island does the whole
I
thing.
think people in Rhode Island argue that deep is better than DEM, so, yeah, it's just like, can't win.
Everybody wants to make improvements, but
Yeah.
to be honest with you, Deep has lost a lot of talent over the last
Oh, yeah.
years, and it's done a poor job of keeping a refreshed workforce. Not very, but it's not.
They're back completely empty. They only go to work on 1 day a week. I mean, I'm not saying that.
I know.
So-
You're in your office, you can hire probably like, I don't know how many more people, I don't know.
I don't know, they're huge, beautiful office buildings.
building.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I guess I'll just say, the next step I think we're gonna take, I mentioned, and I think some of you have written, letters of support for it, but we are waiting to hear on the NOAA, BIL, our partisan infrastructure law funding, we submitted an application, and that would be to work on the culverts on law. So I think if we are successful in getting that, I think then that will give us an opportunity to kind of force almost in a way, people to like start having these conversations, because we have all this money to improve the park and so we'll see, but I'll keep you guys posted.
have you talked to Andre about this? What's gonna be introduced in bills and that kind of stuff?
No, what's it called?
I would recommend it.
I don't know. I feel like every time I see Andre, I'm like, what should I talk to you about today? Like, how many million things?
Yeah, but that's, that's the only thing I can think of is, from a legislative perspective, you really need to have targeted dollars going into deep for special projects.
Yeah.
I think, because of the uniqueness of the NER capability coming in, that's a really good leverage into getting something established under special legislation and stuff. From a funding perspective, you can figure out some way to, if I think staff is good as far as figuring some of the stuff out, as far as getting some of the money flowing. Because you don't need a lot, but you need some, and this would be an ideal type of thing, start just nibbling at it, I need to have an emergency balance plan, for fire protection or bluff, that type of stuff. But to be able to support, I'm putting culverts in here, and now I got to go all that kind of stuff. I think there's some pathway there that he may be able to help with.
Every time I see him, I feel like, he's like, how are you? I'm okay, how are you? Yeah, I think he's just kind of gets down sometimes, but.
No, but maybe it's much more now, when it's not a crisis, this is not a crisis time.
Yes, no, yeah.
Doing his regular day job right now.
I'll just throw it quickly, I was watching a webinar. It's on forestry yesterday, this was yesterday, and very interesting. And the bottom line that these experts said is that now when you want to have anything done in an urban setting, and urban not even meaning a city, but anywhere where you're dealing with forests and people, gotta get the politics down. That's how it's being done. You gotta get someone that's gonna be your advocate. To get the money.
And the other one is this Kathy Osteen, because she is the senator up in Sprague. or whatever.
Yeah, but she does Norwich and all the way down to.
Yeah, and she's, I read today's paper, she's down at Avery Point along with Heather. They're both Republican and Democrat, and Osteen's in charge of the appropriations. Okay, so she has very supportive of Groton efforts, and it routinely comes down here, even though it's not her district, to support. So that's the other person, be making, because you're a national type of, you're not federalized, but working with the state, trying to get that all integrated.
Yeah.
So make sure you have a liaison out to her office. But
Those
she,
are both mine.
I've met her, but I'm not on that first name.
But I will, I can do that.
Everything, she shows up to.
She's down here for the
The
day.
church dinners, she shows up at breakfast, she shows up at
And,
the market.
and supporting,
Yeah.
Ledyard and Groton, both, and even though they're not her, part of Ledyard is her district, I think. This-
She's about as bipartisan as she can be.
Yeah.
Without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
But she is in charge of the appropriations for the
Yeah.
Senate side.
Yeah.
So she has a.
And she listens. You can lobby.
Yeah,
That's great.
very reasonable. She stops by our little table.
Our booth and everything.
All right,
Well, thank you.
all good. Unfinished business, I do want to bring up something I meant to. So. Greg from Public Works Public Works is looking to do bike lane markings on Industrial Drive. So just need to confirm that this is what we wanted to do, and I'm clear, oh, it's kind of off. It's from the trolley trail to, the Depot Road. Basically.
Right. Because right now, you, a couple of years ago, you put this, that showing in here, so the link, there's a link between the trolley trail and at Knoxville Ford. And the trolley trail is, they actually got us an easement, they cleaned it all up, put a paved thing in, you can biking, it's all, yeah, it's all bike lane. That's where you want to continue all the way down here to the, and then this ends up at the depot thing where the pump track is. The pumping track from the, I was at the Place Trees Committee yesterday, the pump track construction of the launch pad area started yesterday.
Well, they start.
It did start yesterday. And
This is north of the tracks.
So, yeah,
yeah,
this
just
is
about,
great.
yeah, and the Amtrak building, this is the Amtrak building, right?
Next to the little kiddie park.
Yeah, so for some reason I was thinking it was down.
No,
here. So,
this is Industrial Drive. They
Right.
just repaved this whole thing.
right,
Entirely of $240,000.
it needed.
Well, I don't know. There's probably a limited number of people use it, just the folks that are down in South of Amtrak, the only people that use it. But that's where it's at.
Very countryside are.
Yeah, but that gets you down to where the track is now. That track, right now, they're targeting an opening on October 11th. That weekend. Well, no, it's good came up because Mark didn't show up at yesterday's meeting and didn't send you in his stead. The streets committee.
Tom's your rep.
Just letting you know.
All right,
man.
like, you know,
I do write this, that's where.
thank you for that. New business, I think I already talked about the luminaria walk, so. Does anyone have any other business before we adjourn?
I have just two quick things, and maybe they're talk after, but maybe after this meeting, we could talk about these cleanups that were, I don't know what's happening. But I think they're gonna be this fall.
Well, no, what happened was that Michelle made, this is, again, multiple things going on here. You have Save the Sound.
Yes.
It has, they're trying to do cleanups, through the whole length of the state.
Yes.
Okay. And so Michelle Maitland, in response to that, said, I think we can work with Holmgren, Subaru, has been volunteering in the town, and she's been the point of contact with them. So she's like, well, maybe you can go, rather than just doing, because you didn't finish up at First Plain Creek earlier this year, back in April, when we had the cleanup for the ECCD, and the back wet committee cleanup that we did down there. So, Michelle contacted me and you, and said, hey, can we get something going here? And so I went out and looked at this stuff, and it's totally overgrown right now. It's too hard to clean up at this point, the type of stuff you need to get to the water from the trail, okay? In these different areas. And so I recommended that, hey, I don't think this would be that practical for this here. And so she then went back to Subaru, told them, and the Subaru people are going to, I think, to Esker Point.
Oh, great. Okay, I didn't see that part.
Okay, yeah.
So great. Okay, that's
So
great.
she
They
contacted.
have something.
Yeah, they found something else. They're going back to the way.
There's plenty. Tom and I both were just like, you are not gonna be able to.
But that was all being led by
Anyway,
Michelle Maitland,
yeah.
not public. MS4 coordinator of public. Works.
Okay, so we're good. I don't have to worry
Right,
about
you don't have to worry about it. We're all set. It's just that, and in parallel with Save the Sound, I actually went off and did a separate cleanup at, kayaking wise at Lumber Cove.
that already happens.
I already happened, that happened a couple weeks ago, because I coordinated with the Lumber Cove people, because you have to have a Lumber Cove resident to give you the pass to get your vehicle with kayaks into it.
Yes.
And I did that with, B Reynolds. I remember it's right down trail.
Can I just ask So when you're doing these cleanups, you get the kayaks, where are you cleaning up? What are you?
I just
in
don't,
the water to check
I
gravel
don't
on the
go,
edge?
I just walk, just paddle the whole edge of Mumford
Okay,
Cove,
and anything you see that,
pick it all up, bring it in, you know.
is there very much there? They're pretty good.
Surprisingly, less than I thought would be there compared to when I've done it on Birch Plain Creek.
They're pretty
Because last time I did it, Birch Plain Creek, we were pulling out tires, cone, you know, traffic cones, bicycles, it was a nightmare in the water. Oh, yeah,
And your kayak.
yeah.
I'm not that good.
I know.
But we just coordinated that, but this year I realized, I had like, most of it was like blowover from, you know, the kids are on beach toys and that type of stuff. It's like it's blowing up
Yeah.
into
Because
Mumford
they're pretty
Cove.
good, they're pretty organized now around the beach.
Yeah, the beaches, and this was like stuff that had blown off the beach and now they ended up in Mumford Cove. But, surprisingly, otherwise, it was in pretty good shape. And B and I did it and stuff, so.
That's your point looks pretty good, I have to say, what they've done with the retention
That's all,
fencing and stuff.
well, it's all, it's all.
Um,
between Parks
yeah,
and
we're
Rec.
working.
Yeah, I think that is really great to see all the grass there. Yeah, really nice, it's like, oh, by.
Yes.
Really something. No, I think it's wonderful. Nice.
All right, can I do one more?
Oh,
Okay. This is kind of related, but kind of not, but I feel like you are a captive audience. Okay, just really real quick, I don't know if anybody's heard of My Coast. Yes.
I do.
Okay, so we got a small grant from the Long Island Sound Futures Fund. Some of you might have been at the meeting, but, we have launched My Coast Connecticut, and this is an app. This is two-sided, but it's an app. You can scan here, just look it up on in your store. But how it works is you download the app, you set up an account, you do have to set up an account. But then you take a photo of any extreme high tide, flooding,
yes,
or
yeah,
storm
exactly.
damage, and then you could just upload it to My Coast. And I mention this because, if you can help get the word out, and it kind of relates to trails, right? Because the trails go all over the place, and probably places flood.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, so you guys can, yeah.
Did you
So,
click on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Well,
I
just
I
as
know
a side
because we
note,
were
yeah,
sitting
I've
there,
been,
I
I've
didn't
been
know.
opening this up as I've been going around up like Boston
Oh,
and different other places. It automatically brings
Yeah.
up where you are. It says it's where you are, and it gives you the whole timetable where you are.
Oh, yeah,
right
it's
now,
kind
Which is nice.
that's
You don't have
really
to do
cool.
anything. Yeah, so you've got it right with you all the time. You don't
Yeah.
have to type in anything and you know exactly where you are.
Yeah,
That's kind of scary, but
Well,
it's
this
great.
this is
Somebody
for-
else now.
Yeah, exactly. The pilot program is for Stonington, Groton, and New London. But it doesn't mean if you're in a different place, you can still upload your photo, but these are the communities that we've talked to. So right now, like the town of Groton and the city of Groton are planning on using the information. So, and some examples of like how other states have used it, like in Rhode Island, they found out that, they had like I don't know, they had a protocol, I guess, that if there's so much rain, that's when they initiate their emergency response. But what they found out was that tons of stuff were flooding before they even got to that level that would initiate that response. So they actually reduced the amount of rain before they initiated that response. So I just mentioned that that's like one way that, like a really tangible difference that this can make. So anyway, I'm gonna leave this here. But we're like, if you have any events, we've been working with the town already. I think actually Katie, maybe that's a city. I don't know if it's a city or a town event. Katie said the popsicle in the fall.
But
that's
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's enough like that. There's a big.
yeah, so she's actually there right now.
Yeah.
So Katie Lund is our trainer. But anyway, if you know of anybody that might be interested, I can send this flyer out, but I figured I'd just mention it because, I don't know. I think you guys might be interested, very interested. Yeah.
I've just been waiting for the storms.
Yeah, I know.
No way.
I mean,
Don't wait for the
I mean, you're
stuff.
thinking, no, I mean, a flood.
Yeah.
Series is, it sound too bad right now.
Oh, I know.
And
I know. And
they never say anything, it drives me nuts, the weather forecast on the local news. Oh, there might be a problem with a little bit of rain, but then it's gonna be beautiful skies, I'm like, we need the rain. Yeah.
Latest storm, I just pull it up here, get out, divert it, it's not
Okay.
heading our way.
You could just go like
No,
that.
because there's Zoom, the state of the Atlantic, mid-Atlantic.
Yeah.
Oh, it curved again. Yesterday it was just this far down.
I also have a thing that's not totally but somewhat related, but this is the tree website. It is an informative website to plant trees if you'd like. And also there is a tree viewer of all the public right of way parks, trees out with inventory. So if you guys want,
Who did that?
you can share.
ARPA.
It's all ARPA funding, yeah. But yeah, Noah did it. We had EOC, which was a consultant that did the street tree inventory, which then led into the Noah developed the tree mapper, which is really.
Oh, that's cool. Every time you guys say NOAA, I'm thinking of like federal NOAA.
Oh, no,
I know, like, no, you're no, I'm like, no.
I answer this meeting.
GIS,
No,
yes. GIS NOAA.
Who would like to adjourn this meeting?
Yay.
Jen.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, Jacob.
Here it is.
I'm gonna give it the time.
Okay, give it to
Does it-
Take as many as you
I
like.
already signed up, I didn't realize.
I need a council.
Oh,
I haven't seen
yeah.
it.
Oh, I've seen that.
The city's the one that's doing the tree planting though, right?
We are actually gonna.
Are
be
you guys
partnering with the
partnering?
city.
Okay, nice.
We've partnered on a grant with. Nature Conservancy.
Yeah, I can see it.
And Nature Conservancy wrote the grant for us to both have tree planting.
Oh, nice.
Or robust.
Oh, great. I just saw Sierra sent it out, so that's why I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we know. That's great.
Oh, next
Goodbye,
meeting
nobody
is when?
wants here.
Yeah.
Oh, next meeting is. Yeah.
It says next meeting. Empty space.
Yeah, it's not on the agenda.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I have December 4th. Thursday, December 4th.
I think that's probably right, just double
I-
checking.
I check. It's a couple.
December.
Oh, yeah, December.
And here before we know it.
Great.
Really? Summer. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is
It's just a lot.
On the town website.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll still have something.
I know. Chicago. Like, I don't know when I'll be home. Meeting might go till 5:30. I should be go do my own thing right now. We're done early.
Bye.
No. Take a walk.
Bye.
Yeah.
The beautiful.
I know. Oh, I should have invited that. Actually.
Favorite town was. That's like how she.
Oh, all right, all right.